What are the rules of the carnivore diet? A lot of people ask that because you hear so many different things, and it really depends. What's your purpose for doing the carnivore diet? Are you doing it for simple weight loss? This seems to be the main reason these days people do it. Traditionally, that is not why people do the carnivore diet. Traditionally, the carnivore diet was for righting metabolic problems, whether it's manifestations of weird syndromes like Hashimoto's or even eczema or other things. There's a whole host of reasons why people will do the carnivore diet that have nothing to do with weight loss. And for other people, more lately, it's been for weight loss. Classic reason to really change your diet, especially in our times where more people are now carrying extra body fat than are not. So what is the rule? What are the rules of the carnivore diet? It really depends. You know, it used to be that people talked about the carnivore diet as an elimination diet to find out what it is that you eat that is damaging to you, and then reintroducing things that are not damaging to you. That used to be how people talked about this. And so for them, the carnivore diet was a temporary stop. Many would go on to some form of paleo or something afterwards, or keto, because they would find that it turned out that modern grains, modern non-ancestral grains, were causing all sorts of problems. So it was just easier to eat some variation of a ketogenic diet. And they found it by spending 6 months to a year doing carnivore. And they reintroduced vegetables and limited amounts of fruits and other things. Other people found that carnivore, that they were having problems with so many other things that they basically just ate meat and maybe some dairy. And they stuck to carnivore. But then something changed. And what changed is really this conceptualization of it, and the claims of ancestral ways of eating and other things. And it turned really into people sticking to the carnivore diet full time. And that's fine. I will probably be one of those who, once I reach my goals, will probably stick to the carnivore diet full time, except once or twice a year on some special occasion, maybe deviating to celebrate things with my family or for whatever reason. I'm not there yet, though. But what are the rules for the carnivore diet? So it depends. What are you doing it for? But at the most basic level, when you say day one of carnivore, the whole point of carnivore, hence its name, is to eliminate plants. Get them down to near zero if you can. Coffee is one of those things people debate endlessly. I gave up coffee for 7 months, and when I reintroduced coffee, my mental health improved dramatically. My wife noticed it, and this was long enough after that whatever causes it to have its hooks in you should have been gone already. Mental clarity was better, all sorts of other things. So I'm not anti-coffee. I'm a drink it responsibly type. Don't have, tons of it every day. Otherwise you are not really doing carnivore anymore if you're doing a lot of it every day. But otherwise, the best way to start is really the beef, butter, bacon, eggs challenge. Keep it down to, any cut of beef you want. It doesn't have to be super fatty cuts because you can easily add butter to it to bring it up, or tallow or whatever. But beef of any kind, butter of any kind, eggs of almost any kind. I would say stay away from the processed stuff that the prepackaged processed eggs where you just pour them out of a container, or powdered eggs, unless you're in a survival situation. I would stay away from that stuff because of the additives. Otherwise, eggs of pretty much any kind. And bacon. I mean, I advocate for getting sugar-free bacons. I have a whole video on, you can find sugar-free bacon at Target if you go to the right one. But it doesn't have to be sugar-free. The sugar in bacon is trace amounts, really, and I do notice the taste difference between sugar-free bacon and conventional bacon. But really, you keep it to those things, and you do it for 90 days. You eat till you're satiated. You're not full anymore. That might be a problem for some people. In fact, about 3/4 of people may run into some problems. But you stick to there for 90 days. So whatever day you're going to start, you go from January 1st to, I guess it would be March 2nd or 3rd, whatever 90 days is, and you calculate that. Actually, more like April 3rd. But you calculate that to see what that is, and try it for 90 days and then reassess. Get on the scale at the beginning. Maybe don't get on the scale at all afterwards. Just stay strict to it and go 90 days of eating till you're satiated, twice a day if you want, 3 times a day if you want. Carnivore is not strictly speaking a fasting diet, but a lot of people find themselves naturally falling into eating 1 or 2 meals a day because, as it turns out, protein is pretty satiating and fat is pretty satiating. And carbs are not. So when you replace them When you replace carbs with fat and protein and salt, guess what happens? You get full more easily and you tend to eat less. That's not everybody. There are a number of reasons why you may be having problems or eating too much on a carnivore diet, and it simply has to do with hormonal signaling. You may have broken it over a lifetime of bad dietary choices, including bad dietary habits like yo-yo dieting and all these other things. But to find those things out, try it for 90 days. And I'll contradict myself here. I said maybe don't get on the scale at all after that first day, or get on the scale regularly. Don't do it every day. There's no value in getting on the scale every day because your body weight will fluctuate. I get on the scale once a week when I'm weighing myself. No more often than that. And then just keep track of it. And if you start noticing yourself stalling out, it might be an electrolyte problem. It might be any number of things can cause that. Or it could be that you're eating too much, or in some cases, not enough. It's a complicated question. But stick to 90 days. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs, maybe a little fish here and there, or, little chicken wings or something. But no condiments, no spices, just salt. Get a good sea salt. Plenty of videos in the carnivore world about why you should get a good land-based sea salt. We won't beat a dead horse here. But stick to that. Keep it simple. If you want your coffee, have your coffee. If you want to eliminate coffee, more power to you. There are other ways to get caffeine if you really feel you need the caffeine. But keep it simple for 90 days. Reassess early April if you're doing it from January 1st. And after that point, we can, start talking again more about what the rules are. Because at the end of the day, the rules are eat meat, eat animal products. That's it. Do you need to eat organs? That's a very big question in the carnivore world. I found I didn't need to eat organs except therapeutic reasons. So I had a blood loss event last year. I ate liver and beef heart for a couple days afterwards, in addition to normal things, and I felt fine after 3 days. I was able to go back to the gym and do heavy lifting. It was fine. Most people, it looks like, don't need to eat beef organs, but on the flip side of that argument, there are people who absolutely eat liver all the time, and they report that they feel much better when they do. So I don't think it's a cut and dry, yes, you need to, or no, you don't. I would suggest starting out without eating them. Don't buy those supplements, please. They are a ripoff. Even the cheapest ones that are like $20 for a month's worth, they're still a ripoff. Just eat your liver. If you're going to eat that stuff, there are ways to cook liver to make it palatable. And after a while, your taste buds will get used to it. I used to be almost on team eat liver and things every day. Now I'm on the opposite side. I don't notice a difference if I eat it or not. But organ meats are not essential. I don't think they are. For some people, they are. They're not for me. But otherwise, just eat the animal products. If you're trying to lose weight, eliminate the dairy other than the butter, or maybe even eliminate the butter and you get ghee, which is clarified butter. You can find it at pretty much any grocery store these days. And keep it simple. Carnivore diet is a simple diet. Eat twice a day if you want, once a day if you want. Basically, it's eat when you're hungry, but eat till you're satiated. That's it. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs, plenty of salt. You'll need salt. Any diet that you cut the carbs down, you're going to need salt because you're going to not retain water as much. And when you urinate, you're going to lose electrolytes. It's the way it works. At least early phase. Other carnivores report that they don't need electrolytes anymore after a certain time. I need them because I tend to go to the gym a lot. So, but keep it simple. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs. Eat till you're satiated. How much fat should you get in a day is a question people debate. How much protein you get in a day is probably based on lifestyle. There are no one-size-fits-all answers to these questions other than basically keep it simple to begin with. Eliminate everything down to those animal products for 90 days. Keep it to beef or lamb if that's more culturally appropriate for you. Ruminant animals, because ruminants are much more nutritional. Their meat is much more nutritionally dense for a lot of scientific reasons I don't think are that important. But keep it to that. Try it for 90 days. And if you still have problems, then there are coaches out there. You can watch a lot of videos on how to adjust things. I'll be making some videos on how to adjust things to try to fix the problems you have. And I do also have a video out on whether or not carnivore is a weight loss diet, because that is like the question of our time, it seems like. I have my thoughts on that. But the carnivore diet is simple. The rules shouldn't be that complicated. Eat, meat, repeat. That's what you see people, that's like the mantra people have. And I'm not wild about mantras for most things, but this one works. Eat, meat, repeat. Make sure you have salt too, and plenty of water. The amount of water you need, preferably with electrolytes in it. What other carnivore rules can you think of for those of you watching this who have been who are veterans of the carnivore diet? Let me know in the comments, please, and let me know what you think about animal organs. Do you eat animal organs all the time? Do you think people should eat them all the time? What do you think of those of us who don't need to eat animal organs all the time? We don't find that it helps us in any way. Let me know about that in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help, as does sharing this on social media. That helps a lot too. New Year's upon us, folks. Let's fine-tune our carnivore diets, or jump in if you've been watching these videos wanting to try it. It's the simplest diet in the world. It really is. Just got to learn how to filter the noise. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Thanks for tuning in.